The Squirrel and the Missing Masterpiece. Have you ever worked really, really hard on something special, only to have it not turn out the way you planned? In a tall oak tree at the edge of Sunny Meadow, a little squirrel named Sammy was about to learn what that big feeling is all about. It was the week of the annual forest fair, and the most exciting event was the Great Berry Stacking Contest. The goal was to build the most beautiful, creative tower of berries. Sammy was determined to win. Every single day he practiced. He learned which berries were firmest and which were too squishy. He discovered that a flat blueberry made a much better base than a round raspberry. He spent one whole morning finding the most perfect, jewel-like berries in the entire forest. A ruby red strawberry for the top, sapphire blue blueberries for the middle, and shiny emerald green gooseberries for the base. This was going to be his masterpiece. The day of the contest arrived. With steady paws and intense focus, Sammy began to build. He carefully placed each gooseberry in a perfect circle. He delicately stacked the blueberries in a beautiful pyramid. All the other animals gathered around, oohing and eyeing at his creation. It was the most magnificent berry tower they had ever seen. All that was left was the final, perfect piece, the ruby red strawberry on top. He picked it up, his heart thumping with pride. He reached up to place it on the very peak. But just as he did, his tail twitched with excitement and bumped the table. The tower wobbled for a terrifying second and then, crash! It all tumbled down into a colorful, mushy pile. A gasp went through the crowd. Sammy stared at the berry mess, his masterpiece gone. A huge, hot wave of disappointment washed over him, so big it made his eyes sting with tears. He hadn't just lost the contest. He had lost all his hard work. He turned to run and hide. But before he could, a gentle paw touched his shoulder. It was the judge of the contest, a kind and wise old badger named Professor Paws. "I saw what you were building, Sammy," the professor said softly. "It was a true masterpiece." "But it's gone," Sammy sniffled. "I failed." "Did you?" asked the professor, his eyes twinkling. He turned to the other animals. "Did anyone here see how carefully Sammy chose his berries?" "Yes," chirped a little bird. "He spent all week practicing." "And did you see the amazing pyramid he built?" hooted an owl. "I've never seen such a steady paw." Professor Paws smiled at Sammy. "The prize for this contest isn't just a shiny medal, little one. The real prize is the patience you learned while you were practicing. It's the skill you built in your paws, and it's the joy you brought to all of us while we watched you create something so beautiful. That is a prize that can never, ever fall down." Sammy looked at the faces of his friends. They weren't looking at the messy pile. They were all smiling at him. His heart, which had felt so heavy and broken, started to feel light and full again. He didn't get the medal that day, but he got something much better. He learned that the true victory isn't always in the perfect ending, but in the beautiful, brave effort you put in along the way. And while Sammy the squirrel learned how to find a win inside a loss, a little hermit crab by the great ocean was about to learn a very different lesson about what it truly means to find a home. Subscribe to Storiella so you can join him on his journey.